So the Browns do make some noise on the first day of the NFL free agency period as they went out and signed defensive tackle Taven Bryan. We're going to break all this down while also looking at the latest Browns free agency news and rumors, including all the smoke around a possible Deshaun Watson trade. We'll see what the latest on that front end is. And even though the Browns went out and traded for Amari Cooper, apparently, they're still interested in bringing in Allen Robinson, which I didn't think they could pull off a 1-2 punch like that. So we'll dive into that. But first, let's get into the latest news involving free agency. Mike Garafolo tweeting out the Browns have agreed to terms on a one-year deal worth up to $5 million on defensive tackle Taven Bryan, according to his agent. And the former Jaguars first-round pick is headed to Cleveland. And yeah, it's a former first-round pick, so there's always a bit of optimism whenever you sign a former first-round pick that, well, maybe he just needs to go to a different city and it'll work out there. He was a first-round pick out of Florida back in 2018. Started a couple games, about half of the games his first year in Jacksonville. Altogether, 17 games and 63 career games. So he's been a very reliable player, right? Injuries have not been the reason why things have not worked out for him in Jacksonville. But maybe he just needs a change of scenery, needs to get to some colder weather, and get away from Urban Meyer in Jacksonville to get his career back on track, as he did not make a single start for the Jags in 2021. We look at what he did for Jacksonville in 2021, and he was not a big stat filler. 2 sacks, which ties a career high for him. So when you only make 17 starts in 4 seasons, you're never going to be that much of an impact player. But at the end of the day, the Browns were not going to spend big money at that defensive tackle spot. I'm guessing after Larry Ogunjobi went to the Bears and B.J. Hill stayed with the Bengals, they decided, you know what, we'll just go a cheaper route and maybe draft someone to remake our front line, as the Browns need to replace most likely Malik McDowell and Malik Jackson, because I don't think they have that much confidence in Andrew Billings and Tommy Togiai to be the face of that defense in the interior line. So Taven Bryan, he's going to be able to compete for a spot. I wouldn't say he's going to walk in and be the starting nose tackle or defensive tackle 3 technique for Cleveland, but he's going to give him an opportunity, or give himself an opportunity, to earn a starting spot. Here's a question I want to ask, though. Do you even know who this guy is? Right? When he came across a lot of our Twitter feeds, I don't think anyone was jumping up and down like, this is a home run signing right here. Y for yes, N for no. For me, he fell in the category of, oh yeah, I remember him, sorta. And then let me look at his Wikipedia and go, oh, right, he was that first-round pick for the Jags, and I guess he didn't work out because I never heard about him ever again. So that's where at least where Taven Bryan lands for me, of where I would grade him as a free agent signing. He's in that, oh, yeah, let me go look at his Wikipedia and refresh myself on the draft from a couple years ago. Now, are the Browns out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes? So this has been a story that's caught a lot of smoke lately, and when there's smoke, there's fire sometimes, but it looks like this fire is not burning very hot, because apparently it's not going to happen. I think there's a lot more to it, and I'm not going to just rule it out on the middle of at the end of day 1 of NFL free agency. But Brian McFadden, who works for CBS Sports, tweeted this out, that supposedly the Jets made an offer, which I thought was, I didn't see that one coming. But the Browns offer, let's focus on what we care about here. 2 firsts, not enough. I'll tell you right there. All right. A 5th, so now we're just being rude. Kareem Hunt, Greg Newsome, and Baker Mayfield, and the Texans said no. So 2 people said no. Let's get that right. When you have a no-trade clause, which Deshaun Watson does, he also gets a say in the trade. And if he doesn't want to go to that city, he ain't going. Now, Benjamin Albright, who does a good job of covering the NFL, the Denver Broncos, and he's been just kind of the king of the Deshaun Watson trade saga, he has said for a while now that the Browns were never really in the mix to get Watson. However, my boss pointed out a pretty interesting idea. Could the Texans turn the tables on Deshaun Watson? Because some of the big teams that are interested in him are AFC teams. And apparently Houston wants to deal him to the NFC. So what if the Texans say, you know what, Deshaun Watson, we're not just going to trade you wherever you want. We'll have you sit on our bench, and we won't pay you because we don't have to trade you, right? We can just turn down all these offers. So maybe all of a sudden the Texans could turn the tables a little bit on Watson and go, the Browns are giving us the best offer, even though hopefully it wasn't that last one because that would never work. where they're going to give us 3 firsts, a second, a starter like Greedy Williams or Kareem Hunt or Grant Delpit, and that's the only offer we're going to accept. So if you want to play at all in 2022, this is the offer. If not, you'll sit 2 straight years. Think about that. With that all in mind, would you trade for Deshaun Watson, right? T for trade, P for pass. Do you want to give up on Baker already? I've always said I'm in on Baker unless there's a clear and obvious upgrade. Watson is that. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is clear and obvious an upgrade from Baker Mayfield. But Watson, come on, who are we fooling here? He is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield so far in his career. We'll get to the rest of the free agency news and rumors in a moment, but first, help us reach 6,000 subscribers. We crossed 5,000 not too long ago. We're one shy of reaching 5,400, so my goal is to get there by the end of free agency. It's a little bit of a lofty goal, but I got faith in the dog pound, so go ahead, hit that big red button, subscribe if you have not already, and join us for all things Cleveland Browns, including the latest on free agency, who they're going to be signing, and who they're rumored to be interested in, because apparently it may be Allen Robinson. But to go full circle on Deshaun Watson, kind of put that to bed, I think it's not, like I said, a clear upgrade from Baker Mayfield. And hopefully, if there is an opportunity for the Browns to try and get Deshaun Watson, look what he did in 2020. He was the NFL passing leader, and he didn't have that great of a cast and crew around him. Nearly 5,000 yards, 70% completion percentage. What's the best in a single season for Baker? I think like 64, 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. So if that can't sell you that Watson's a better QB than Baker, I don't know what to tell you then. I don't even have an analogy to try and sell you on that. All right, some other free agency notes here. So apparently the Browns are interested in Allen Robinson. And this comes as a bit of a surprise because they've already got $20 million devoted to Amari Cooper after landing that trade, which was a phenomenal trade. I didn't think they could swing 2 top-tier guys in Cooper and Robinson, but the Browns are looking at them. Now, Cleveland, this is going to be a fluid number, but they've got about $11 million in cap space. Allen Robinson's going to want more than $11 million this upcoming season. So from just the number standpoint, I don't see how it works, but then you got to remind yourself, salary cap isn't real, right? It's like a pink unicorn. It's not actually there. You can always move numbers around and try and make it work. So if Christian Kirk, by the way, who signed for a 4-year, $72 million contract, can get that money, every single wide receiver is calling him and thanking him for setting the bar so high for such an average receiver that if that's what Kirk gets, Robinson's going to want to own a team, right? That's how far away he is from Christian Kirk. And if that much money is devoted to a B receiver, not even a wide receiver 1 like Robinson, he's going to be a billionaire after free agency. But I think the Browns still need another wide receiver. So where do you think they should get it from? The draft, right? Number 13, or maybe the second round, and they go Jordan Davis round 1? Or do you want to see him spend some money in free agency, get someone that you have some familiarity with, like Allen Robinson, a proven guy? I still like the idea of going wide receiver at number 13. And the reason why, and I've kind of said this before, but it's you got Amari Cooper, you draft someone like Garrett Wilson, you give all the tools for Baker Mayfield to succeed. And I know he had OBJ and he had Jarvis Landry, and he wasn't QB1. But you give no excuses, you give him everything, and if it doesn't work, you move on from Baker Mayfield, and whoever the quarterback is in 2023, whether it's a rookie or whether it's trading for some veteran QB or signing someone, they're going to walk in to a very attractive offense with Nick Chubb, maybe Kareem Hunt no longer, but still a good young offensive line and 2 great targets in Cooper and now a second-year wide receiver. So I like the idea of thinking ahead here for the next quarterback if Baker Mayfield can't make it work with that. All right, one last time, if you guys have not subscribed and you've gone this far in the video, well, we're doing something right, I like to think. So appreciate everyone that's watched this far, and send it to a fellow Browns fan if you already subscribed and want to get this channel even bigger, because the more subs we get, the more videos you guys get. It's that simple. I get more studio time so I can do what I love. So go ahead, hit that big red button and subscribe.